So if you're in the market to get a new phone but want something nicer than a mid-ranger, I'm going to be going over two of the best phones under $1,000 to buy right now. And these two phones are the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and the Galaxy S22. Of course, as we're going over these phones, if you wanted to check them out or learn more about them, we'll have some resource links in the description. For now, let's take a look at the Galaxy Z Flip 3. Now, folding phones are awesome, but are they worth the cost? Well, yes, and I think this is the perfect entry flip phone even with its current price point. Now, the first reason I would say it's worth buying is because it takes up a lot less pocket space when folded when you carry it around. This is definitely something I never considered in the beginning, but since using this phone, I can definitely appreciate the extra pocket space. Now, the next reason is the cover screen is pretty revolutionary in my opinion. You can see GIFs, notifications, and even play games on the cover screen, which I'm about to show you. Now, when you do play games on the cover screen, not everything is going to work perfectly. For example, if you try to play Call of Duty Mobile on the cover screen of this phone, it would probably be a little bit hard. But there are some games like Alto's Odyssey, Jetpack Joyride, and some others that you can actually play on the cover screen when the phone is folded, which is just really cool. I know it's a little bit ridiculous, but I'm going to just kind of show you some of Alto's Odyssey right here. Just doing my thing. Of course, as I'm going over some of the reasons to buy this phone, if you have any questions about it specifically, you could always message me below in the comments. And of course, if you guys could tap the like button on this, I would definitely appreciate it as well. Now, some other things about this phone, obviously you can see I've got that nice Venom wallpaper going on. One of the biggest complaints people have had with using this phone since it released was the battery life. However, it's had updates, and honestly, you get 120 gigs of storage on this phone. And the battery, for me, no issues getting through a full day. I just got to point that out. Okay, other than that, the camera on this phone is also really good. It can record in 4K at 60 frames per second. I'll show you an example picture here of my Jason Voorhees coffee mug. But honestly, Samsung phones always have good cameras. They always have, and this one is no exception. Now, the next thing I want to do is go over some of the performance, which is another reason I think this phone is just incredible. I'm going to play a couple games here. We'll do some Into the Dead 2, killing some zombies. Then I'm going to play some Jetpack Joyride, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, now let's check out some Jetpack Joyride. So last year's base Galaxy S21 model was one of the most affordable flagships from Samsung in a long time. Its $799 price tag made it an attractive proposition. Fast forward to this year and we've got the Galaxy S22. Now this phone's got a 6.1-inch screen instead of the 6.2-inch panel as we saw in the Galaxy S21, but thankfully apart from the smaller battery, Samsung hasn't taken anything away from the spec sheet. On the contrary, there's a new 50-megapixel main camera along with a proper 3x optical zoom camera, and the back of the phone is glass this time around instead of plastic. But should you buy this phone? Well, if you already own the Galaxy S21, I would say it's probably not worth it, but if you own something older or are switching from an iPhone, I would say it's definitely worth it. Now, I wanted to first compare the Galaxy S21 to the S22 so you could see some of the main differences, so let's get right into that. First off, the most notable change is the design. Now on the right, we've got the S21, which has a much more rounded look to it, while the S22 ditches the rounded edges in favor of a flat edge design. Next, we've got display. Now the S22 screen has actually shrunk just a touch, going from 6.2 inches to 6.1 inches. So you do get a smaller display on the S22. Now, as far as batteries go, this is interesting. The S21 has a 4,000 mAh battery compared to the 3,700 mAh battery on the S22. So another thing that's actually gone down in size is the battery. Now, honestly, I haven't noticed a huge difference in the battery life comparison yet on these phones, but it is something to point out. Okay, then we've got cameras. Now, this is a big one because phone photography is something you're always going to look at when you buy a new phone. And the S21 has a 12 megapixel back camera, one wide, one ultra, and a 64 megapixel telephoto camera, while the S22 has reversed. It's still got 3 cameras on the back of it, but this time it's got a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, 50 megapixel wide camera, and a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom telephoto camera. Not much of a difference, honestly, as you guys can see in this one picture example. So, looking at the camera on these phones, really not much of a difference at all. Next up, I wanted to get into some of the video quality and performance on the Galaxy S22 so you could see it in action. Of course, if you guys wanted to check out our full written reviews, you're watching this, also have some links in the description. Anyways, let's get into it.
We must kill the High One.
He's not fated to die today.
I want to be the king of my body and mind.
Each day we see our numbers dwindle. Trains go out, but do not return.
Let me go.
Sutra has stolen my son, murdered his mother. Help me, and I'll compose you a saga that will endure Ragnarok itself.
Lord of Asgard, from the dwarves of Svartalfheim to you. Steal their powers and make them your own.
Music to my ears. It is where I go that matters. And where is that? Wherever I can find vengeance.
Treasure every moment, for death is at your heels.
Be warned, I will finish what you start.
I don't run from the fire!